Have you ever really stopped to think about what's flowing through your veins? I mean, it's so much more than just red liquid. It's this incredibly complex, bustling river, a whole ecosystem that's responsible for keeping you alive every single second of the day. So let's dive in and take a journey deep inside this amazing internal world.
And that is not an exaggeration. Not at all. It is the absolute foundation of our existence. This one fluid is what connects every single part of our body, delivering everything we need and carrying away all the junk. Seriously, without it, nothing else works. So, what is actually inside this river of life? Let's get right into it, meet the key players, and figure out the critical jobs they're all doing. Okay, first stop. We need to get the big picture view of this whole system. Before we can meet the individual crew members, we kind of need to understand the landscape they're all operating in. To really see what blood is made of, you can't just look at it. You have to separate it out. What you're seeing here is what happens when you put blood in a centrifuge. You just spin it at incredibly high speeds and physics does the rest. All the heavier stuff sinks to the bottom, and the lighter fluid rises to the top, revealing these really distinct layers. And this is what you get. It's pretty amazing, right? A whopping 55%, over half of your blood, is a yellowish fluid called plasma. Almost all the rest, about 45%, is made up of your red blood cells. And then there's that tiny sliver, less than 1%, called the buffy coat. That's where we find our white blood cells and platelets. All right, so we've seen the big picture. Now it's time to meet the specialized crew members who are working tirelessly inside this river. And trust me, each one has a very distinct, very vital role to play. Think of this as our roadmap for the next few minutes. We're about to meet the 4 key players in your blood: the liquid superhighway, the oxygen toxis, the security guards, and the emergency repair crew. First up, we've got plasma. This is basically the delivery highway for your entire body. Yep, it's mostly water, but it's also packed with all the essentials. We're talking proteins, hormones, nutrients that have to get delivered all over your system. It's the liquid that makes all the other transport even possible. Next, meet the absolute workhorses of the system, the red blood cells. Think of them like a massive fleet of oxygen taxis. They have one critical mission: pick up oxygen from your lungs, drop it off at every single tissue in your body, and then, on the return trip, pick up the waste product, carbon dioxide, and bring it back so you can breathe it out. Then you've got your security detail, your white blood cells. These are the vigilant protectors of your immune system. Anytime a foreign invader, like a virus or some nasty bacteria, shows up, these are the cells that rush to the scene to identify the threat and take it out. And finally, we have the emergency repair crew, the platelets. These tiny, little plate-shaped fragments are your body's first responders. When you get a cut, they race to the site, they all stick together, and they form a plug, or a clot, to stop the bleeding. Pretty cool, huh? So we've got this incredible, fine-tuned system of transport, defense, and repair. But what happens when it goes wrong? What if one part of that system breaks down? Well, the consequences can be pretty serious. A classic example of this is anemia. And anemia isn't just one single disease. It's a condition where your blood's ability to carry oxygen is seriously reduced. If you don't have enough red blood cells, or if they aren't working right, your body is literally starved of oxygen. And that's what leads to that telltale fatigue and shortness of breath. And anemia can pop up for a whole bunch of different reasons. You could have it because of blood loss, or because your red blood cells are breaking down too fast. It could even be caused by damage to your bone marrow, which is the factory where they're made. Doctors also look at the size of the cells themselves. Are they too small or maybe too big? But here's the really cool part. Your body is smart. It doesn't just give up when this happens. It has an incredible emergency protocol to fight back. So how does it know to make more of those oxygen taxis when the supply starts running low? It all comes down to this absolutely brilliant feedback loop. When your kidneys detect that oxygen levels are low, a state called hypoxia, they release a special hormone. It's called erythropoietin, or EPO for short. This hormone travels straight to your bone marrow and acts like a command. Hey, we need more red blood cells, now. The marrow ramps up production, more cells get into the river, more oxygen gets carried, and just like that, balance is restored. It's an amazing system. Okay, for our last section, let's make this personal, because your blood isn't just about function, it's a huge part of your actual identity. The easiest way to think about your blood type is like a special jersey or a uniform for your red blood cells. These uniforms are made of little markers called antigens. Now, your immune system is like the bouncer at a club. It knows your uniform, and if it sees cells wearing a different one, it attacks, causing them to clump together, which is really, really dangerous. And while there are actually a ton of these antigen systems, the two big ones you always hear about are the ABO system, that's your type A, B, AB, or O, and the RH system. You put those two together, and that's what gives you your full blood type, like O negative or A positive.
So what is this Rh factor? Well, it's just one specific type of antigen, and fun fact, it gets its name from the rhesus monkeys where it was first discovered. It's a simple yes or no. If your cells have the antigen, you're Rh positive. If they don't, you're Rh negative. But the simple difference can have huge, huge implications, especially during pregnancy. Let's walk through a critical scenario. Imagine a mother who is Rh negative. Now, she's pregnant with a baby who inherited the Rh positive factor from the father. Usually, during birth, a little bit of the baby's blood can mix with the mother's. And to her immune system, this Rh positive blood looks like a foreign invader. So her body does exactly what it's designed to do. It goes on the defense. It starts creating these custom-made antibodies that are designed to find and destroy any cells with that Rh positive antigen. Now, during this first pregnancy, it's usually not a problem for that baby. But her body now has a memory. It's primed for a fight. And this is where the real danger lies. If she gets pregnant again with another Rh positive baby, those pre-made antibodies are ready and waiting. They can actually cross the placenta and attack the developing baby's red blood cells. It's a very serious, potentially fatal condition. And it's a powerful reminder of why understanding this science is so, so vital. So when you think about it, from its complex crew of cells to the very markers that define our type, our blood is telling a story. It's a constant story of delivery, of vigilant defense, and of personal identity. It is the river that keeps us going. The real question is, do you know the story it's telling for you?